Welcome back to Bay Sunday. The 11th annual San Francisco International Chocolate Salon is coming soon. And here in the studio with some delicious samples are chocolatiers from Socola, Chocolatier, and from Rainy Day Chocolate. Thank you so much for joining us, Wendy and Jennifer.
Glad to be here.
Bay Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about how you guys got started. You have a pretty interesting story. How did you first get started?
My partner and I were interested in starting a food business for a while, and we were inspired by the rainy days last year and started making truffles at home.
Yeah.
And
just
within
out of the
year,
blue, in your kitchen.
well, yeah, more or less. We got a recipe book over Christmas, and that was part of the inspiration, and started working from there. And it's been a very exciting year since then.
And what about you, Wendy? What got you into the business?
Yeah, I started when I was a teenager. I was 19 years old, and my sister and I started making chocolates and giving them out as gifts. We started making chocolates in Sonoma County. Actually, we were actually both from Sonoma County, so I taught myself, and then eventually started selling at the farmers market in Santa Rosa. Nice. How I actually got into chocolate was I worked at my parents' nail salon, and so anytime I was bored, I would go to the mall, and every time I walked in the mall, I was like, hey, look at this chocolate shop. This is really interesting. And then one day I'm like, how do they make this? Right. So then I found a recipe, started tinkering around with it, and then eventually made chocolates. And it brought me so much joy, and it brought so many people joy to eat the chocolates. And and because I'm Vietnamese, I was like, how can I bring my Vietnamese heritage to the flavors? So that's how I came up with some of the other flavors.
And tell us a little bit about what you guys have brought, some of the flavors, and what inspired you to kind of use some of those flavors in your chocolates.
Definitely. So I brought some Vietnamese coffee truffles, passion fruit, peanut butter and jelly, raspberry champagne, and the flavors are inspired by my travels and just where I've grown up and
and a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
What about you, Jennifer?
I brought some of our Belgian truffles. We have a Belgian line, includes just some classic flavors.
Which one is that? Do you want to show us? Yeah.
This actually is one of our new vegan flavors. Okay. This is made with Parducci Winery's Reserve Grenache, and so it's a red wine infused. And so this is actually, we have a little bit of sample for you today.
Okay, I'll try that.
There you are.
And Wendy, as I'm sampling this, tell us a little bit about your company. That's an interesting name that you have, that you came up with for your company.
Yeah, so Socola means chocolate in Vietnamese. And at the time when I was 19, my sister was 16. I guess we were semi-creative, but we ended up naming our company Chocolate Chocolates. We just really wanted to highlight being Vietnamese, and that's how we do it with Socola Chocolatier. And we have a flying alpaca as our mascot. Wow. I really love alpacas, and they're very different, and I feel like they travel around the world. They bring inspiration to us and represent our brand by bringing inventive flavors.
And Jennifer, tell us about SF Chocolate Salon. Have you ever been to this event before? Tell us what it's all about.
This will be our third event, and there's multiple chocolate makers from all over the country that come, and it's a chocolate tasting experience, getting to taste all these different flavors and different makers. How you roast versus how you process is going to very much change it, depending on the origin as well.
And Wendy, what about you? What have your experiences been like at this this festival?
Yeah, this is our 8th year participating. It's really great. You get to go and walk around and try chocolates from like 40 chocolatiers, and you can see what everyone's products are, and then come home with a collection of new chocolates to have over the next few months. So it's really great.
So you've been doing this for a long time. What did your first chocolate that you made taste like, and what is it like now? I'm sure you've developed your recipes over the years.
Our first chocolate was probably our dark or our milk Belgian classic, and it hasn't changed too much from our original recipe. Just kind of the quality of work has improved.
Right. What about you, Wendy? What have your experiences been like?
Yeah, so when I started, I only had 4 flavors. I had a dark chocolate, milk chocolate, caramel, and a raspberry. And then eventually I was like, how do I bring my Vietnamese heritage to this? So I started swapping out different flavors. So raspberry became guava after I traveled to Cuba. I was like, I had guava jam every morning. I was like, this is amazing. How can I incorporate this into chocolate? So I made the guava one, and then we had a mocha one as well, and we turned that into Vietnamese coffee. So over time, we've changed this. We had like a sriracha truffle. Someone asked me to make a chili chocolate. But I was like, how can I make it more Vietnamese? So we made a sriracha one.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. The chocolates tasted wonderful, and best of luck to you with your careers and your businesses.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The 11th Annual San Francisco Chocolate Salon is happening March 18th at the Hotel Kabuki from 10 to 5:30. Thanks for joining us here on Bay Sunday. We'll see you next week. Have a great day.